Evening, everybody. Welcome to CB on the Seas. A short video talking about the Knights Celtics game. This is the first game of the season. Celtics beat the Sixers 105-87. So I'm going to start off with a pull up three, basically an observation about the game, best coaching move, and my favorite stat of the game. Observation of the game: Philly is in trouble. They were talk of the town last year. You'd expect them to make some moves, but I understand it's the first game. It's a long season, but they have not improved at all, especially their guard play. Embiid looks great, as usual, like everybody thought he would, but they are in trouble at the guard position, especially Simmons. He hasn't improved at all. It's like he went on vacation, didn't think about basketball at all the whole summer. Coaching move, I thought it was great that Stevens left in the first unit well into the first quarter. He showed confidence in that unit, even if that unit might not be a strong unit going forward. Left Hayward in there, let him get his feet wet. I thought it was pretty savvy. Stuck with Kyrie, even though it was clear he didn't have his best stuff tonight. My favorite stat of the game, it was interesting. I was looking at it. No Celtics played over 30 minutes. Al had 30 minutes, and no one else had more than that. It was more of the same from last year. Stevens was very good dosing the minutes. Everybody was super fresh, all throughout the season. So I expect a lot from that, more of that coming up. All right, so now I'm going to name the three stars, sort of borrow this from hockey. My three stars of the game obviously were Tatum. He was amazing, just progressing from where he left off last year. Obviously worked on his game a lot. Was very assertive. Didn't have to wait to take shots. Never hesitated. T. Rose was amazing also. Looked like he picked up where he left off in the playoffs. Very assertive, awesome defense, just making plays left and right. And Morris, I was sort of worried about Morris. He definitely needs his minutes and he definitely likes his shots. I was worried that he might be sort of a disgruntled employee having to give up more of the minutes with the new guys coming back. But he was very good. He knocked down his shots, knocked down his open shots. Of course, you never have to ask him twice to shoot. Made some big shots, big threes. And he was sort of good defensively and just a heady player in general. I think he, a lot more so than he gets credit for, but he showed that again tonight. Hit 10 rebounds, so that was impressive. Although it's not tough to stand out on the Celtics as a rebounder, as we all know. And I'm going to add something, not just the three stars, the three stains on the game. Those are the opposite of the stars, players who did not acquit them well. The number one, well, I'll start with the number three and move my way up. The third was Kyrie. He had a shocking game. You could tell he was shaking his head. I remember he went, he missed his first 3 or 4 threes, and then he hit one, and as he was getting back on D, he was sort of shaking his head, sort of disgusted with himself, trying to figure out what was going on. He, we all know he was 2 for 14 from the floor, 1 for 8 from the arc. He did all right. He was played 29 minutes. It was decent defense. 3 turnovers. He always had his. He was always in the game. He kept feeding Tatum the ball in the first half. That was important. He worked the ball to Tatum when Amir Johnson was on him. to sort of exploit that mismatch. That was a nice play. I enjoyed that. Yeah, but Kyrie had a tough game, but look for him to bounce back big time Friday night against Toronto. Second stain, Simmons. It looked like he hadn't. He looked like he basically dipped himself in carbonite for the summer, and didn't work on his outside shot. I don't think he made a shot that wasn't at the rim. Uh, he's an amazing guy in transition, like we all know, and he's an amazing guy around the rim, and he's got a great handle, and he plays good defense, and he's super tall, and he rebounds, and he almost gets a triple double every night. But we need more out of him, or at least Philly needs more out of him. He can't shoot a lick, and he can't shoot free throws. What did he shoot from the line tonight? He's 5 for 11 from the line. Get to the line, 11 points. That's 6 points. He leaves off the table, and that's ridiculous from a guard. The worst stain on the game was, in a very comic way, Saric. For a while, he had 15 minutes and 5 fouls, which was pretty funny. And I always enjoy. I don't mean to make fun of him because he's an NBA player, but I enjoy how he tries to mask his hair lip with his goatee, his swarthy Croatian goatee. But yeah, he gave us trouble in the playoffs last year, but he had a pretty comically bad game tonight. Let's see. He ended up with 23 minutes, 3 for 8 from the floor, 5 fouls, 3 turnovers. Yeah, pretty bad. Anyway, so he gets the number 1 stain. So that's it. I finish up every video with a closeout, and that's a sort of a recommendation or a comment about anything, sometimes not having to do with basketball at all. And this time it's a restaurant recommendation, a place called Cutlets in Medfield. Looked them up on Yelp. They universally great reviews. And it sounds weird, they serve sandwiches just made of chicken cutlets. I actually think they serve an Italian sandwich. They're mainly a caterer, but they make sandwiches to go. They have a counter you can eat there, but it's an awesome place. Happened to be in the area. I looked up Yelp for a place to eat a sandwich, and I went there, and it blew me away. I love chicken cutlets. The chicken's juicy. It's seasoned great. It's hard to explain unless you actually have one, but go there, man. Medfield Cutlets. The owner is a great guy. Talk Boston sports with the Pats. So it's in Medfield. Medfield's a tiny town outside of 128, sort of near Walpole, in Foxborough. Anyway, that's it. Next game is Friday night in Toronto. It's going to be a good one. I'll see you guys after the game. Game's at 8. I'll see you right after. Bye.